film is just such a risky investment that none of them were like, we believe in you. We think you can do this. We believe in the idea. It's a cool idea, but it's just too risky. I was just sitting thinking one day, I was like, you know what? I'm asking these people to bet on me when I have the means and I'm not willing to bet on myself. Like the value of everybody's house doubled. And so I dipped into that equity and I took a second loan on my house. Wow. $80,000.
That's ballsy, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
And but I believed in myself and I believed in our team.
To the lament of my wife and child, there's still a whole spare bedroom full of tapes and DVDs and stuff. And
so this is just you clearing out.
Exactly. I'm thinning the herd about 5 or 6 movies every week, and I've been doing that for 11 years now. So we'll get there eventually.
When I can make someone smile by giving them a little autograph picture of me as Jason, cool, and see their reaction and want to hug me and want to take a selfie with me and stuff like that, it ain't about the money no more, man. It ain't about the money. It's about making that person happy. It's about making that person smile.
All right, everyone, welcome to a very special episode of the Mediaverse Studios Podcast. Tonight we are in FilmScene at the Chauncey Hotel in downtown Iowa City. I have Ross Meyer here with us, who runs the Grindhouse screening at FilmScene late nights on Wednesdays and tonight on a Friday. Ross, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's happy to have you guys. Thank you for joining us here.
Well, thanks so much for having us out here. So tell me a little bit about FilmScene in general. What do you guys do here?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit cinema, which means we're mission based. So we play movies, not necessarily. I mean, we love it when people buy tickets and that helps to pay the bills. But we're also we book movies based on sort of everything from artistic merit to demand from various other partners in the community, that sort of thing, hopefully it all kind of comes out in the wash. But we are a nonprofit cinema, so there's some fundraising and some other things that go involved to making this whole operation happen.
Yeah, I love your community-focused nature for this theater. I love coming to FilmScene just because you guys have a really great environment. You show all of the main titles, but you also a lot of these cool indie titles from time to time. And I love just how tied you are into the filmmaker community and into the artistic community, and you just support them at all ends. And so I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's the whole idea is to make the movies look good and sound good, and that's what I do here. A lot of my job is running the projection booths and the facilities and that sort of thing. And we want the big Hollywood movies, because we do play some of those, not all of them, but we play a lot of them. We want them to look big and bold and sound good and look good, but we also want the smallest little independent films, whether that be documentaries or foreign films or micro-budget films, that sort of thing. We want those to look good and sound good. We want those to be treated with the same respect as the biggest budget movies that are out there.
So tell me a little bit about Grindhouse. How did this start? What is it? And then, what can an audience member expect when they come to a Grindhouse screening?
Absolutely. Yeah, so initially, when this organization was very young, there was, a lot of just sort of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And I was initially just a volunteer here. And I was asked, in the very early kind of, before we even had a theater, the fundraising days, we were running pop-up screenings at, church ballrooms and running, punk rock documentaries at Gabe's and running, things here and there just where we had a place to put a movie screen and shoot an image onto it. And it was a way to do a little fundraising, but really just a way to raise awareness. And so we had plans for sort of a genre film festival. And then once the first FilmScene location kind of fell into our laps, we kind of had to cancel all those outside things because we really had to just worry about building a cinema. But then we said, let's just take that energy we had and turn it into an ongoing series. And I think, who are now my coworkers, they said, why don't you do a monthly thing? I said, monthly? Let's do a weekly thing. And I think they all kind of looked and I was like, just give me 6 weeks to prove myself. And That'll be 11 years ago here in May that we've been running every Wednesday night, and then occasionally, stuff like tonight where we've got filmmakers passing through. We'll run on a Friday night, or kind of whenever it makes sense.
Sure.
But it's a program we run, and it's the idea is this sort of 70s grindhouse cinema. There's a thing that primarily existed in inner city theaters. And tangentially in drive-ins, and and then as things moved into the the VHS days, and there was a little bit of that same sort of spirit in some of those VHS era, action movies and horror movies and things, and then I think that same spirit still lives on in a lot of these really independent, what are often called micro-budget, horror exploitation or genre films, and we want the the old films to be rediscovered, but we want these newer independent things like we're playing later tonight to really find an audience and have that same, level of excitement and respect and, all of that.
I've been to a bunch of grindhouses. I still haven't filled out a full card next to keep forgetting I have to get a new one.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys have a whole stage presence to yourselves when you come out. Talk more about just kind of what an audience member,
Absolutely.
when they sit down, what's it going to be like for them?
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys that as much as I do. It's we normally do this every Wednesday at 10 p.m. But really the feature doesn't play till about 10:30 because we'll run a package, and it's new, it's custom, and it's new every single week of vintage movie trailers and old snack bar ads, but also just like some of the weird stuff that once upon a time might have been in the like kind of VHS tape trading scene and whatever. It's just a mishmash of stuff, trailers and things, and kind of video mixtape type of things that runs from 10 until 10:30. Then we give away a couple prizes, and then we'll fire up our movie. Ideally, we're not running 3-hour epics, so hopefully we're still out of here about midnight or so.
Sure.
Because those hour and 10-minute movies, they don't make too many of those these days. But once upon a time, that those tight little movies that made for good double features or triple features were all the rage. And but yeah, it's a good way, and we've got multiple opportunities to win some prizes. We always refer to them as good or sometimes not so good prizes, and both random drawings, but also we have sort of an old school time clock, and your membership card fits on the time clock, and you clock in for movies, and once you clock in for 6 movies, you'll get a prize that way as well. And it's usually just the weird stuff that we have lying around. Actually, before I did this, I owned a video rental store for a while, and I still, to the lament of my wife and child, there's still a whole spare bedroom full of tapes and DVDs and stuff, and
so this is just you clearing out.
Exactly, I'm thinning the herd about
Sure.
5 or 6 movies every week, and I've been doing that for 11 years now. So we'll get there eventually.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is our Grindhouse tonight? What are we going to see?
Tonight's movie, it's a low budget kind of, I suppose you'd call it an art house horror movie, and it's directed by Jason Pitts, and it's starring James Stokes, among other very talented actors. And both of those gentlemen are here tonight. They made the long drive to join us here in Iowa, and we're flattered and honored that they made it up here.
Yeah.
I first met both of these folks. We had them up here for the Refocus Film Festival, which is a festival we host here at FilmScene. It's all about, we call it the art of adaptation. So it's all about films that have been adapted from another media. And that's because we're here in Iowa City, which is the home of the Iowa Writers Workshop, and a long literary history of a lot of famous writers and artists here over the many years. But we had them here to talk about, the art of adapting, what you could call an unauthorized intellectual property. Because there have been some, there hasn't been a Friday the 13th movie in many years from Hollywood. So there's this whole cottage industry of people making these really good unauthorized Friday the 13th movies. And we had these folks here. It ended up being the best Q&A at the whole festival. Wow. And there was some highfalutin filmmakers here at that event, but really these guys just hit it out of the park. And so, with their first original production, I was so happy to get them back up here and flattered that they were willing to make the drive.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we are going to bring on Jason Pitts next, but Ross, I just want to thank you again for having us out here and for everything you guys are doing at FilmScene.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope we can find another opportunity to do this sometime really soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love that.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ross. Cheers. Yeah. All right, and so now we have Jason Pitts, the director of The Forest Through the Trees, all the way from Arkansas here at FilmScene. Jason, how you doing tonight, man?
Jake, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. Is this your first time in Iowa City?
No, we actually were here about 2.5 years ago. We have a Friday the 13th fan film called Voorhees Night of the Beast that you can actually watch on YouTube. It has almost 700,000 views.
Wow.
But we screened it here with Ross on October 13th in 2022.
That's right. That was Friday the 13th, wasn't it?
Yeah, he kicked off his film festival that he was doing on Friday the 13th.
Wow.
And he thought, what better way to do it than with a Jason movie? So.
Yeah. Well, if you give me a link to that, we'll put it in the description of this video
sure.
for all the audience to see.
Absolutely.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about the movie that we're going to be screening tonight.
Yeah. So it's called The Forest Through the Trees, and it's a demon cult movie.
Okay.
I've always been fascinated with the genetic marker of heterochromia, where one eye is a different color than the other eye.
Yeah.
The main character, her name's Chloe, and she has one eye that's blue and one eye that's brown.
Okay.
And so when I was developing this idea, I wanted to do something with heterochromia. I knew that. And I started to think, what is interesting that you can do with eyes? And I thought of the common phrase that the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, what would that mean? What would heterochromia mean in regards to that phrase? And I thought, well, maybe it means that the window to your soul is open, and it makes it easier for something to get in.
Oh, wow.
And so this demon cult is after this specific person because she has that, to put the demon that they worship into her. So
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about just kind of your trajectory as a filmmaker. Kind of when did you get started, and then how did you start off, and then where have you gone from there up to where you are now?
So I grew up in the 80s as a child, watching all the great 80s horror films, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and those movies just captured my imagination, watching them growing up. And I always knew that I wanted to be a writer of some sort, specifically with horror. And early in like high school, I started playing with my dad's camera.
Mm-hmm.
I went to film school. I got my degree in radio, television, and film at the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas.
Nice.
Shortly after that, my wife and I started having kids,
Yep.
and I kind of put all that on hold for about 15 years. I had to support my family because we started having babies.
Of course.
And so I went into retail. And then fast forward 15 years, where it's 2020, COVID just hit. My son is graduating high school that year. And I just felt like I was running out of time.
Yeah.
And so I made a decision and a promise to myself that I was going to give it one really good run and put everything I had into it. And made that decision in 2020, and I started doing short films and slowly building a very talented group around me. With every short film we did, the film family got bigger and bigger. And then we finally decided that we think we could tackle a feature film. Technically, Voorhees is a feature film. It's 61 minutes.
Okay.
It was very challenging doing that, and that gave us a lot of confidence to tackle this thing. And this one's an hour and 47 minutes.
Nice.
And it got to a point where we thought we could do it, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I think we did it. So,
yeah. Tell me a little bit about your film family. It's funny you say that word because that's what we refer to our group as, is our film family. And so I love that there's a connection there between like the people that you are making this with, this art with, is familial to you.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about them, your crew.
Yeah. So it started in like 2020. I started looking for people to partner with, and I started looking for film sets, how to get on film sets, and I guess it was like around February, I got on a set in Birmingham, Alabama, and I didn't know anybody. And the second night we were there, a bunch of us went out to eat. and we just like took turns going around the table just talking about our dream project or our dream job. And it was mostly actors that were there, and James Stokes was one of those people. And also Olivia Disney was one of those people. And there's like 3 or 4 people at that table that I just felt a great connection to. They were very positive people, and that was the core of the film family. Like, it started that night.
Yep.
And then I decided, like, that was somebody else's project that we were there for, but that's where we all met. And then I did a short film called Alone, and then that project grew. Like, we met more people. I casted new people, and like with every project, it's like you look for those people that are like. I look specifically for very passionate people, because they have to love what they do.
Yeah.
And then the next thing after that is positivity, because you don't want to be on these 12, 14-hour shoots with negative people. So, and then after that is talent. I think talent's third. So those three things is what I look for. And if I'm on another project and I see somebody who has those 3 traits, I'm like, I think that they would fit in. So, piece by piece, I've been building this team. Like, we found a cinematographer who has his name's Charlie Brady. He did Voorhees, Night of the Beast. He did another short film that I did on Masquerade. That was the first film that he did with us. Masquerade, and then he did Voorhees, and then we did the sequel to Voorhees, and then the Forest of the Trees.
Wow.
We have a sound guy. His name's Lon Keith, and he's absolutely amazing. And he's making a career out of this now.
Yep.
I mean, he's gone on to do like tons of Lifetime films, and this is what he does for a living. It's how he puts food on the table.
Yep.
And we have everything. We have a special effects artist, a visual effects artist. We have and it's just each project finding these people and growing. We have a private Facebook group called the Lucid Lake Extended Film Family, and it's from people all across the country that we've worked with.
Wow.
And it's probably, I think it's up to like 65 people now.
Wow.
So yeah,
Dang, that's
and it's
just
editors.
People that pass your vibe check and they work well with you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. That's inspiring.
Yeah, and like any of us, if we have a project, we make a post, and everybody's like, if they can do it, I'm down, and we get everything we need right there.
Yeah.
And when we meet more people, we invite them in.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. That's so cool. So run me through a little bit of the just the production of The Forest Through the Trees. Tell me about how'd you go about securing funding? That's something that as indie filmmakers, that's the big question that everyone wants answered is how do we get funding for these things?
I did what they tell you never to do. So I started off taking the idea with a pitch deck and everything to all of the people I know with money, and who could possibly contribute to funding, and I got a lot of bites. A lot of people were interested, but film is just such a risky investment that none of them were like we believe in you. We think you can do this. We believe in the idea. It's a cool idea, but it's just too risky, that type of thing. And a couple people weren't comfortable with the demon stuff.
Sure.
I ran into that, and I was just sitting thinking one day, I was like, you know what? I'm asking these people to bet on me when I have the means, and I'm not willing to bet on myself.
Ooh.
So, like, the value of everybody's house doubled, and so I dipped into that equity, and I took a second loan on my house.
Wow.
$80,000.
That's ballsy, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Yeah. And but I believed in myself, and I believed in our team, and I just convinced myself that there was no way that it would not be worth it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And how has the reception been for this film?
Been fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the third screening. I'm a little nervous with this one. So the first screening was in Fayetteville, Arkansas on January 27th.
Okay.
The second screening was on February 7th in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The Fayetteville one, probably 90% of the audience there had some kind of tie, whether a family member or a friend, to somebody who worked on the film.
Sure.
In the Hot Springs one, it was probably like 60%.
Okay.
This is the first one where nobody here is going to have any type of connection to
Yeah.
somebody who worked on the film. So it is completely an objective audience. So I'm nervous, but I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it's a good little test.
Yes,
You know, there's
it's the first real test.
first organic audience coming out here. Yeah. I was looking at the seats when I was buying tickets to come see it, and it was pretty good turnout.
Nice.
You know,
We're excited.
So yeah, I'm excited to see it too. Is this film going to be distributed after your screenings, and how did you go about that process?
So once it was close to being done, it was still in the editing process. We had a trailer. I started going on IMDb Pro and looking at horror film, B horror films, and what companies distributed them. And I sent about 50 cold emails to different distribution companies.
Wow.
With screenshots and a link to the trailer. And of those, I had about 20 responses.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And they were like, when you have a screener, let us know. We'd love to watch it. So I sent it to those 20. Of those 20 who I sent them to, six of them got back to me.
That's pretty good.
And I had several conversations, several offers, and if you ever get to this point, my best advice is to find other filmmakers who have worked with these companies and ask them what their experience has been like. The first three companies that I was in negotiations with, I reached to other filmmakers. I just looked through their catalog. Okay, this is a horror film. Who directed it? Find them on Facebook and messaged them.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your experience with this company? Terrible. Don't sign.
Yeah?
Yeah, we haven't seen a dime yet.
Wow.
And finally, I got to Bayview Entertainment.
Okay.
And I talked to 2 or 3 filmmakers, and everyone had nothing but great things to say about them.
Sure.
And the deal was really good. So one thing that all of the other production companies did is, so with Bayview, the split is in my favor, which is great, and they pay on gross instead of net. Most production companies, they will pay on what happens first? Is it gross? The money that comes in?
Yeah, you gross
That's
first,
gross
and
and
then
then
you
net.
get to your net. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So they pay on gross. What comes in as soon as they come in, I get my cut.
Wow.
A lot of them pay on net. So, and they say that, okay, well, we need to deduct our expenses first, and then you can have your cut after we
Sure.
recoup our expenses.
Oh, you get kind of whatever's left over.
Yeah. Well, what they don't put in the contracts, and what a lot of people miss, let's say, they offer, okay, you get 60% of the cut after we recoup our losses from marketing and whatnot. Great, that's awesome. Let me sign. What a lot of people miss in the contract is they don't ever say that they have to be transparent with their losses, with what they spend. So what a lot of these companies do is they just keep telling you, oh, we haven't made a profit yet, and they take it all.
And you never see
See a
the
dime,
receipts.
never see nothing. And yeah, unless it's in the contract that you can audit them and see the receipts, then they don't have to, and they don't do it. They don't. And
Sketchy.
It's very sketchy. And a lot of these people that I talk to, when researching these companies, that was their experience. Like they won't share the information with us. They say that they haven't made a profit yet, and so that was the big thing with Bayview that I really liked is they paid with what came in first.
Yeah.
And so they can't hide behind that veil of not being transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of reach does Bayview give you? Are they an aggregator, or are they giving you physical copies of media, or what's that deliverable look like?
So They have ties to theaters. We're in talks of having a very small theater run. And then DVDs and Blu-rays are on the table, but they kind of push back a little bit on that, saying that they're like basically obsolete and they don't really do a lot.
Okay.
But it is a possibility. And then the big thing is going to be streaming. They say that their biggest partners are Netflix, HBO Max, or I guess Max now, and then Amazon, and then Tubi. So it'll probably end up on one of those 4
Cool.
channels.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess I kind of want to hear more about the story of The Forest Through the Trees. How did you come up with this concept of, heterochromia and then tying that into a kind of demonic thriller? Kind of what's the soul of this story? What are you trying to get across to your audience?
So I work at a news channel. I'm a early morning director.
Cool.
And my commute is 60 miles from my house to where I work. And I have to be there early in the morning. I have to get up at like 1 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
And it's like an hour drive. So I have a lot of time where I'm just by myself listening to my music or whatever and thinking. And one day I was just driving, and like I said earlier, I've always been fascinated with heterochromia. I always thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
It was very, very visual thing. And my niece actually has heterochromia.
Okay.
And so it's kind of just been on my mind. And like I said, I was just like, okay, I'm going to do something with that. And I thought of the phrase, the eyes are the windows of the soul. And then I just, like, one idea led to another. And then by the time I got to work, I had an entire story like outlined in my head.
Yeah.
Based on that idea. And I started adding themes. It's like, well, we're dealing with a demon cult. What's a cool theme? Well, sacrifice. Demon cults, they do sacrifices. And then I started expanding that theme to the other characters in the story, like the main character, Chloe. Chloe's stepdad, Ken, who James Stokes plays. So when you watch this film, sacrifice is the idea and the concept of sacrifice is very present in all of these characters' stories.
Yeah.
The tagline is "Love is sacrifice." So it's like
That's a good tagline, man.
So it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice for who or what you love?
Yeah.
For Ken, it's what is he willing to sacrifice for Chloe and his wife that goes missing? And Chloe has a lover in the movie, Ava,
Okay.
who's her rock. It's like, what is she willing to sacrifice for her friend or for her lover? And then there's the cult, who is like taking that concept very literally, like we are sacrificing people for this entity that we worship. So just built the whole story around sacrifice.
Yeah. And so there's these competing elements of sacrifice. I'm sacrificing for my God. I'm sacrificing for my family, and like those two butt heads.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting concept. What do you want an audience member to take away after we watch this?
I just want them to be entertained. I'm not like trying to say any like, I don't know, cool. I don't have anything like deep to say. It's just
You're telling your story.
Yeah, just telling a story, and I want people to be entertained.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You mentioned back during probably around COVID time that was kind of the inciting event to get you to start filmmaking. Can you kind of tell me a little bit more about that? Like what flipped that switch for you? You went to film school, and then you kind of took that time and you raised your children. COVID hits. What's that thought process? What kind of got you moving?
So I think COVID was a part of it, but the big thing was my son graduating high school, and I'm just like, holy crap! I'm not getting younger. I'm getting older, and I really felt like, and like I said, COVID was part of it, and I noticed that a lot of people, like, just started saying, like like when COVID hit, a lot of people were like, "I'm doing this thing."
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just me. I noticed that a lot of people started. So I don't know exactly what it was, but something about COVID just really set people's asses on fire. And a lot of people started just like saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to do what I love to do, and nobody's going to tell me I can't." So COVID was part of it, but the big part for me was my son graduating high school and me thinking I'm running out of time. So that was a big motivator for me. Like that phrase went through my mind a lot during that time. Is like, I am running out of time.
I think that there's like those two kind of complement each other. There's this like, not to get too morbid, but this sense of your own mortality.
Exactly.
And it's like, I need to leave something. I need to tell my stories. I need to, I don't know, finish that project or whatever. That's what it was for me, at least. That's what kind of got me into filmmaking was anything could happen. So I might as well do the things that I want.
Yeah. And another thing for me was, and it goes back to my son graduating high school, is, you know, he and my daughter too, like she's graduating high school this year.
Wow.
But they grew up with me. They know how much I love movies and horror films. So there was a part of me that the fuse was lit by me wanting to show them that whatever they wanted to do, they could do it, you know. And so a lot of my motivation wasn't just for me, but showing them that they can go for their dreams as well. So
where does your love for movies come from?
Man, I don't know. It's always been there. When I was a kid, my parents would take me to, we'd go to the drive-in theaters in Riverside, California. I grew up in Riverside until I was 9, and we moved to Arkansas.
Gotcha.
But we would go to drive-in theaters and watch double features of horror films, like twice a week, or not twice a week, but like twice a month, something like that. Yeah, very cool parents. My dad has since become very, 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 very religious and has told me multiple times that he regrets doing that and does not approve of my...
I'm sure he's mortified by this movie.
He is. So, but yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, just watching those movies, about, you know, double features in the drive-in in the bed of my dad's Chevy truck. It was great memories for me, and just seeing these stories and these monsters and the creativity displayed on the screen was awesome to me. So.
Yeah. I love that. What are some of your most inspirational films, or directors, or actors, or what kind of is informing your language as a writer, as a director, as a, you know, DP or whatever you are?
So my favorite film of all time and a huge inspiration is the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
I love Wes Craven. He revitalized the horror genre multiple times. And before Nightmare on Elm Street, nothing like that had existed before, and it was so creative for its time. Groundbreaking. I love it. And it was before Freddy got funny. I mean,
sure. He was horrifying in that.
Horrifying and scary as hell.
It wasn't campy. It was just scary.
It was just scary. Yeah. And then, of course, Friday the 13th. Making a Jason film was a bucket list item, and I loved every second of it. And one of the coolest things in the world is to have Jason fans come up to me, or James Stokes, who played Jason in my movies, and say, "Your Jason is my favorite Jason," or
"Oh wow,"
or "This death in this film is my favorite death in the whole franchise."
Oh, I've got to see this.
Dude, we got a awesome death in it. It's crazy.
All right, this is definitely getting linked in the show notes. Like, I got to see this movie.
So, and those things are like, it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing to have that happen. And when we screened it here at FilmScene back then, we have pictures of me and James standing at, and behind us is all the seats. They're all filled, and everyone's wearing Jason masks.
Wow.
It was one of the coolest moments of my life.
Yeah.
So.
That's worth it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
It's worth it.
Heck yeah, it's
Absolutely.
for the audiences. Cool. Well, anything you want to get across to an audience right now? Anything that you want to say or pitch or plug or whatever you've got coming up next?
My next film is it's called The Trial of Margaret Stone. Mm-hmm. We're starting to shoot it, planning on shooting it this December into March, and it is a 1890s period piece. 90% of it takes place in one courtroom.
Cool.
And it's Lizzie Borden meets 12 Angry Men meets The Exorcist. So the story is this young woman is on trial for the brutal murder of her parents.
Yep.
And as the trial progresses, this thing this demon that is possessing her slowly comes out. And we're also doing it a little unorthodox. Instead of like a full movie, we're doing it in almost like a mini series in 5 short episodes. Each episode will be like 15 to 20 minutes long. Okay. So where you can watch it like that, or you can binge watch all of it as like one movie. And each episode is like a different phase of the trial. Like the first episode is like opening statement.
Sure.
And then the first witness, and then the second witness, and then it builds to herself taking the stand.
Wow. That sounds like a cool concept. Is this going to be?
We're excited about it.
Is this going to be like a web series?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It could be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice. I would love to read that script, just personally, off the books here. That sounds really cool.
We're on the 3rd draft now.
Okay.
And we're casting now.
Nice.
I do want to do one more draft.
Nice.
But yeah, I can share the script with you.
I'm gonna check it out. How can people get a hold of you or follow what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can just search me, Jason Pitts. I have my website is lucidlakepictures.com. There's links to all of my films, and there's links to like people that I work with a lot on there. I have a YouTube. You can just search Jason Pitts. All of my films are on there as well, and I have an Instagram. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Well, Jason, hey, thanks so much for your time, man. I can't wait to see the movie.
Man, I'm excited for you to see it. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, I will let you know.
Awesome.
All right, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
All right, last but not least, we have James Stokes in the chair with us. James plays Ken in The Forest Through the Trees. James, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Really excited to see your film.
Yeah.
So, just right off the bat, where are you from? What's your journey kind of been like?
Well, I'm originally from a small place in western Kentucky called Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Okay. Been in Nashville now for probably going on 18 years.
Gotcha.
So I guess I'm from Nashville now, pretty much. But got into acting about 15 years ago, I guess it was. Yeah. So I've been doing it off and on for about 15 years.
How'd you get into it?
Dude, I kind of fell into it. A friend of mine was doing some short, independent, non-union, no-budget films there in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, at a little place called Copper Canyon Ranch. If you never heard of it, please look it up. It's actually a 1800s Western town that he built to shoot movies and videos and all that stuff. Yes, and it's called Copper Canyon Ranch, and you can Google it. But the guy that was shooting the movies, his dad owns it, and I grew up around that area, so I knew Tim very well. And so they asked me to come out and do some movies, and one thing led to another, and I met this lady that was out there that was still my agent today, one of my agents today.
Wow.
And got with her and got some professional headshots done, and the rest is history. And, started doing some commercials and other feature films and stuff like that. And yep. And so, that's what
So it was just a, hey, you've got a face I'm looking for, come act for us?
I mean, kind of. I mean, she said that, if you wanted to do this, I would be willing to represent you and put you out there and start you a resume and all that stuff. And she did. And I got some commercials and some other things. And then, lo and behold, years later, she called me one day and said, "What's your availability?" the show Stranger Things wants you to come because, at the time I was an EMS, worker and did that with the fire department. And and I was acting as well. And that's what they was looking for. And I didn't even have to audition for it. I just went down there and got on the show. So it was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, Stranger Things. That's cool. What are some of the kind of roles that you take on in your 15 years? What's kind of been...
Wow. I mean, I've done everything from preacher, cop, teacher. I mean, I've done a lot of different things. Even I got to with Jason here. I got to play Jason Voorhees in Voorhees Night of the Beast, which was just probably is the highlight of my acting career. I mean, it's just getting to play a character actor or a character of that stature.
Yeah.
And getting to bring it to life the way I felt like that it wanted and the way Jason felt like that he wanted, it was an amazing, it was just an amazing opportunity for me.
I mean, talk about stature. Look at you. I mean, you're built like a brick shithouse, man.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll work hard.
You looked like, when I first saw a photo of you, I'm like, okay, he could have been Jason Voorhees. And lo and behold, you were. Like, that was the coolest connection.
It was very cool. And a lot of people, when they find out that I played the character, they ask about our movie and stuff like that. And it's what we do is we try to keep the franchise alive. Sure. And because, true horror people, they want to see Jason, Michael, Freddy, all of those characters stay alive. And we just happened to make a really good movie and to help keep that character alive.
Yeah. Do you find yourself drawn more to the horror genre or to like a, kind of a spooky character?
I mean, here lately, I've been doing a lot of horror. I've been with Jason for several years now, and we work really good together. But the horror genre is something that I absolutely love, have loved all my life. I grew up on horror films, and so yeah, I guess in a way it is. But I want to branch out. I mean, just like The Forest Through the Trees, yes, another horror film, suspense horror film, and getting to play that character Ken when people see the movie, is very an emotional character for me, and it brought out a whole new side of me that I think people that have seen me in different other things, they're going to see a totally different side of me playing Ken in Forest Through the Trees.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know much about your character, but I take it you're not the big bad.
I'm not what?
You're not the big bad of the movie.
No.
The villain. Okay.
No.
So, interesting. How do I phrase this question?
Mm-hmm.
How did you access that character? From the time you first read the script to getting direction from Jason, what was your process for?
It was actually kind of easy. I was playing a stepdad. Okay. I was playing, and I am. That's what I am now. I am a stepdad, and to a daughter, to several, couple daughters, and it's just, losing someone in your life, and then having to deal with the pressure of being an ex-military guy, just a lot of pressure on you, things, it came natural to me. I'm just going to say it like that.
Sure.
I mean, really, some of the scenes were really natural for me to do.
Yeah, that sense of duty and that sense of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of your kind of dream roles you'd want to play or characters you'd want to portray on screen?
Oh, man, superhero would be absolutely fantastic.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, I've gotten to play so many different roles over the years. I mean, I've done 69 films and TV. So,
whoa.
Yeah. So I've got 69 credits to my name.
That's amazing.
So yeah, and through there, it was a lot of different characters. So, but a dream role would be like a big action film with me being a hero in it. Of course, but yes, that's the reason I keep my body the way I do. I try to train a lot. I'm 53. I'm not no spring chicken anymore.
You look good, man.
Well, thank you so much. But I keep training my body and try to eat right and put the right supplements in my body to maintain this kind of role and this kind of career. because this is entertainment business, movie business in general is just a very hard business.
Yeah.
You're competing against a lot of people, a lot of really good people.
Sure. Have you done a lot of roles that required physicality or stunt work?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, I did. I like in Jason Voorhees, the Voorhees Night of the Beast.
Yeah.
I did all my own little stunt work, with me and Jacob Southwick and stuff like that. He helped me a lot. He's a professional wrestler, so I mean, he knew some of the moves and all that stuff. But yeah, anything that I do, from riding a horse to fighting, sword fighting, ammo, guns, whatever. I do all my own stuff. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that is impressive for someone.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone, I guess, any actor that could do that, but yeah, especially someone that is dedicated to that kind of physicality. What do you have coming up next for roles?
Well, I'm auditioning for a lot of things. I've auditioned several for different things. One out of LA, a couple different other roles. Been assigned on with a couple of different things. I can't talk about a little bit right now. It's in the pre-stages of it. So it's just like, I mean, there's no reason to talk about it because we don't know if it's going to happen yet. I've just been signed on with it.
Are you SAG?
No, not yet. I'm non-union right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want, to go SAG, that's a very big step.
It is.
Because you're getting out of, and I love non-union or, independent film. Yeah. Independent film is absolutely phenomenal. And you can go and watch a Hollywood film all day long, but there's so many good independent films out there. So many good writers, screenplay writers, and and directors and all that stuff. Jason being one of them. Yeah. It's just great. And it's a hard decision if I ever do go SAG. So.
And I mean, look at the award festival turnout. The indie films took it all home.
Absolutely.
It's having a moment now.
And and the big thing is people are coming to start to support indie film.
Yeah.
They're starting to put some money towards indie film because it's not just a bunch of guys out there with a camera just shooting anything. I mean, these are real filmmakers. Yeah. And Jason Pitts is literally the epitome of a great indie filmmaker right now. I mean, it could go further, but I'm just saying, it's just, we make good movies.
Yeah.
And we love, I mean, we're no different than a Hollywood actor or a Hollywood director, a Hollywood writer, anything. I mean, we're out there doing the exact same thing, just on a lower budget.
Right.
And we're making really good stuff.
Yeah. And we're telling unique, interesting stories.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing to me is just...
And that's what's so impressive as me as an actor, getting to read some of these scripts that these guys put out. It's like, where do they come up with it?
Right.
Sometimes you're sick in the head, dude. But it's awesome, and it comes out as so good. I mean, there's things in these movies that, it's just like Voorhees Night of the Beast. Yeah. There's a kill in there that that has never been done before on screen, and is amazing.
I gotta see this kill. I gotta see this whole movie, but this kill is being
oh, dude,
hard.
Yeah, it'll make you cringe. I guarantee it.
Okay. Wow. So tell me more about Ken, about this character. When you read the script, what did you identify as his motivation, as his values, as how does he progress this story? His
love of his family. I mean, he does. I mean, he's an ex-military guy. So he's a hardcore anyway, kind of. But he falls in love with this woman, and then all of a sudden, she's gone, and he don't understand, and he don't know how to process it. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be for anybody that this would happen to. You don't know how to process something. You don't know why that person left. You don't know where they went. You don't know if they're dead, they're alive, anything. And then on top of that, you've got a stepdaughter that's, in a sense, blaming you for everything. You're blaming her for everything. It's very emotional for both of us, and because we both are hurt. We both don't know what's going on. But at the same time, so that's very an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Now imagine Jason's older, and how did he work as a director with you to help you access those things?
Phenomenal. I mean, Jason trusts us as actors to bring that character to life, but at the same time, I'm a kind of actor that wants, if I see something that I think that I want to do, I just bring it to him. He likes it. He likes it. If he don't, I'm going to do it the way he did. This is his vision. And that's what I like. I like being directed to what he sees, because he sees it way better than we do. He sees it before it's even put on camera. So it's with Jason at the helm and telling us how he sees it and what we do, it just turned out so well. We all worked so good together. Me and Annie playing my daughter, it turned out so good. Olivia Disney, she's like my sister. We've been in different things before. I mean, it's just the whole combination of all of us together, it just vibes so well, and we work so well together. And Jason, I mean, we got a film family. That's what it is, and it turned out really good.
I love that. I love that so much, man. You know, kind of the floor is yours. Anything you want to get across to them?
Oh man, support indie film for one.
Yeah.
You know, come and watch our movies. Don't just look at it as like, you know, just because we're not in a big theater or something. You know, support indie film. That's what I want people to do, and support actors and directors and writers and stuff like that is working hard out there to bring something to each individual, to make you laugh, to make you smile, to make you cry, to make you scared, all that stuff. And we do it out of a passion in our heart. You know, we do it because we love this. We love this entertainment field. I mean, that's just what it is. It's making people laugh, cry, scared, whatever else. And so that's what I want people to know. Yeah, and that we work hard. You know, it's training. I mean, we take classes. We do that. We make ourselves better actors. Of course, everybody wants that one big one. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't stop us. I mean, it's still, you know, people recognize me now for different things that I've done. I love it. I love to see the smile on people's faces. Yeah. You know, if people love Jason Voorhees, and I use that a lot because it is such an iconic role. Mm-hmm. And when I can make someone smile by giving them a little autograph picture of me as Jason cool. and see their reaction and want to hug me and want to take a selfie with me and stuff like that, it ain't about the money no more, man. Right. It ain't about the money. It's about making that person happy. It's about making that person smile. There's people out there that see it and they get so excited of seeing an actor that's been on the big screen, that's been in different TV shows and stuff like that. Some of them never get to meet an actor, and they love it. Yeah. And that's what I love. And I will never ever turn anybody down. That's just the way I am. Wow. That's what I do, man. It's a passion of mine, and I'd love to make people happy. I love that. Absolutely. I love that so much, man. Awesome. Yeah. How can people find you? How can people follow your work? I'm all over the place. I'm on, mainly Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, you know, they limit your people, but so Instagram is the best way to do it. It's Stokes.James, or my name. You can look up James Stokes. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the platforms. But yeah, another big thing is I go to schools, and I love talking about this all the time, but I go to schools and I talk to middle school kids about picking the right friends before they get in high school. You know, well, it's a bullying thing. Yeah. You know, and it's also a peer pressure thing. Kids, when they're in middle school, they choose their friends that they're pretty much fixing to have for the next 4 years. Yep. You're either going to go down that path or you're going to go down that path. Good path, bad path. Go to the good path. Even if you go alone, even if you have to walk it alone, take the good path, because I don't want to see kids nowadays have it very, very hard. Yeah. And it's getting harder and harder in schools. Bullying is higher than it is that it's ever been. Right. Females are the worst. I hate saying that, but they are. Female girls are the worst when it comes to bullying. And I don't want to see these kids. And I use my mask. I'll take my mask in the classroom and I wear it. I don't wear a suit because I don't want them looking at me as a teacher or something. I want them to see me as that. And I want to tell them about my journey in high school. I did. There was times where I didn't have one friend that I felt like, because I took the right path. I didn't want to go down that wrong path. One, I didn't want to make my coaches mad. I didn't want to make my teachers mad. So I tried to do everything without getting in trouble and just going down the right path. Playing sports, doing whatever it took to get my grades up, stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to teach kids now. Sometimes all they need to hear is it's okay to walk alone. You don't have to follow someone. You be a leader, whether it be a leader of 5, 10, 15, or 1, or yourself. Be that leader. And then you will always choose the right thing.
I'm going to finish the podcast right there. That was great, man. I want people to understand that going out the door.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see your film. Thank you very much
Awesome.
for all of your insight and all of your.
I want to hear what you have to say after you see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, James Stokes. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you all for watching. We're going to go see this film now, and hope you guys get a chance to see it.